All right, buddy. So what's your name and where are you from?
My name is Leandro Larry. I'm from Dallas, Texas.
In Dallas, Texas. And you told me you like to go by Doc, man. So I'm gonna call you Doc throughout this interview. And ladies and gentlemen, I've had quite a bit of people bring you to my attention, man. I just couldn't find your channel for some reason, but someone sent a link this time and it led me to your channel, man. You've done over 40 years in prison.
42 years, 10 months, 16 days.
You know, I had someone else on the show that did about 32 something years, and he knows the exact, down to almost the minute. And someone asked me, he said, why do you name the days, month, and all that with it? I'm like, because every day counts when you done did 42. And that was straight through. Did you
Well, see,
get,
back in the day at Texas prison, they allowed you to go on furloughs. To go home, first it was 5 days, they increased it to 7 days. You could go home and spend 7 days with your family and come back.
did,
So I went on two of those, but I'm still doing prison time.
and you knew, so they let you go out on furloughs even with a amount of time such as that.
Yes. It's all
What,
up to the unit warden.
and what the hell? I don't know if I had that much time to do, man. I don't think I would have went back. You know what I mean?
This is why I would go back because they're going to charge my mother with assisting me in escape. So I can't get my mother locked up. That's the only help I got. So I can't, she was a college professor. I can't have her fired from her job or running from the cops just because of me. I got to take my licks. I got to be a big boy and step up, take my licks. And plus, the warden, he had the ultimate decision on who gets to go on a furlough. And he looked me straight in my eye and said, "Hey, man, do not fuck me over." He said, "I'm not supposed to let no guy like you go home. If I look this man directly in his eye and give him my word, I will return him back." I never thought I was going to do that amount of time because back in the day, Texas prison did not hold you for no extended period of time. I never thought I would do that much time. And
You
also,
thought you were gonna get paroled out or something?
I thought I would maybe do, by the nature of the case, maybe 20 years at the most. That's where I had it figured out. But this guy's family protested all my paroles. I was up for parole 26 times. And his family was still alive and they protested all my release. Now they would grant me a parole because here's a guy coming in front of the parole board with an advanced college degree. I got two of them. And I would have the unit warden, he would go in and even tell the parole officer, "Hey, man, give this guy parole." And I made it three times. And I received a protest from Dallas County. I've been all the way at the Walls unit, where in Texas, that's where they release inmates, dressed in free world clothes, ready to go home. And the warden walked in. One day I could have beat him, but I wasn't thinking. I was so happy. He said, he called my name. They was going by prison numbers. I thought they was going by prison numbers. So I said, well, I probably got the oldest number here, so I'll be called in the first group. That ain't how they was releasing. They releasing the first 10, the next 10. And I'm standing back there talking to this guy, and the warden said, he called my name. I walked up. I said, "Here I am, warden." He said, "Been a change in your parole plans. We will be sending you back to your prison unit in the morning." Man, my mother's sitting right out there waiting. I said, "Oh, man." That happened to
That's
me
the
too.
worst damn feeling in the world, ain't it? That shit I would have probably cried, man.
When I got back to the cell, well, I told the warden, I said, "Hey, man, you better put me in lockup, man.
I'm
I
about to
can't
kill
handle it."
someone, man. I'm about to kill you, man. That is so sad, man. How much time did you have in when that happened?
The first time I had 18 years.
Oh my God, man.
Second time, 21 years. The third time, 24 years. And I didn't make it no more until 42 years was up. I didn't make it.
I can't even freaking imagine doing 42 years and locked up, man. I'm guessing things have changed a thing or two since the beginning, huh?
You know what? On the inside, I kept up with the outside because you got to be 50% institutionalized in order to make it on a long stretch. Man, you cannot do a live sentence thinking about your girlfriend or thinking about the outside. So I kept up with the outside pretty well. You know, I'd study. I'd read Hunt magazine. I'm not interested in no damn Hunt, but I'd read it and I say, man, I want to be conversant in all subjects. I don't want to be an institutionalized fool like I see the guys around me, man. They basically functionally illiterate. And I'm being nice by saying that.
Oh man, I'm loving this one already, man. That's a lot of people, they just lose, I guess, inspiration in there, man, and I guess think they might never get out, but they do have a release date, and people do need to remember that. Try to keep up with stuff. That was a good idea, man. Okay, well, what led you there, man? I'm guessing it was something probably violent. I'm guessing, correct?
It was a capital murder case because he was a police officer, and they reduced it to murder because he wasn't in a uniform, and they claim he identified himself. He never identified himself as a cop. And this was in the 70s in Dallas, and it was extremely racial.
Yeah.
So I was parked at a 7-Eleven in East Dallas with my little pretty girlfriend. She's sitting on the hood of the car. She wanted a damn Slurpee.
Oh, damn 7-Eleven and them Slurpees.
I had never stopped at 7-Eleven. This incident would have never happened.
Oh, God. Oh, my God, that girl, man.
That's what doomed me, her testimony. They couldn't introduce her as my girlfriend because Texas back then had the common law. If you were with someone over 6 months, by law, you was married.
Yeah.
So this is how they got around it. This is how they doomed me. Nobody could put her at the scene but me. The store owner at the 7-Eleven, when he heard the gunshot, he looked out the window. And he said he don't remember a young lady sitting on that car. Now he put my mother on, she said, this girl lives at my house. So everywhere he goes, she goes. So they got her, they arrested her first. Well, it was 30. I didn't run. I stayed there until the cops came. They didn't arrest me till 31 days later. But what they did, they arrested her, got her to sign a confession and said, we are going to release you on a personal reconnaissance bond for capital murder. But man, we young. That's why I one time in prison, I could think about a million ways I would kill her ass. But I say, man, we are young, never been in trouble in our life. I've seen hardcore guys in prison snitch, and these are hard guys. So what you expect out of a female? But if she would have told the truth, even today, she would never tell the truth. She lives right here in Dallas, but it made me sign a paper I can't have contact with her. Now, she contacts me sometime on Facebook, and I always show it to the authorities. Hey, I didn't send this friend request. She requested my friendship. Now, she lived high on the hog here in Dallas. She lived in a rich neighborhood, and she lived good. I don't live so good.
Yeah.
I got severe PTSD from all them years incarcerated, even though I have a doctorate degree.
Yeah.
I cannot hold a damn job to save my life. Cannot handle authority. Can't deal with it. If it wouldn't be for my old lady and my landlord where I live, hell, I don't know, I'd probably be homeless. It wouldn't be for these two people helping me out. I done tried the job market, and it don't work for me.
Yeah. I mean, if they release people after 40 years, they should release them with some help. Definitely some help. You know what I mean? Because there ain't gonna be nothing. I mean, what can you do? You're gonna be messed up in the mind. Problems with authority? Hell yeah, I can see where that comes from. Would you say the authority in Texas prisons has amplified compared to when you first went in?
When I first went to Texas prison, the guards were inmates.
Oh yeah, and they would carry guns and stuff and keep people in line, right?
And they would beat the hell out of you. They move you to the cell, they count, they clear the count, an inmate is trusted with the county. And this was a brutal system. I served 9 years under that system. And I killed 2 guys in prison. I killed a guy in 78. I killed another one in 1984. I'm not bragging on it, but this was a fucking violent prison system. In 84, we had 52 murders, over 1,000 stabbings. And I had been stabbed in 1982. I say, this ain't happening to me no more. The hell with this. I don't care what I got to do to survive. Well, back then, they wasn't giving you no more time. If they gave you some time, if you were serving life, it was only ran concurrent with your life sentence. It just made you look bad in front of the parole board.
Yeah.
Now they stack everything you do in a Texas prison. That sentence is consecutive.
Yeah, you're gonna have to fight multiple charges if you're released on parole on one.
Kill someone in Texas, you're facing a death penalty in a Texas prison. If you're serving life, you face a death penalty. Or if you're a gang member, it's a capital murder in Texas. So that slowed down a lot of the violence. And they got a big ass ad seg in Texas, over 5,000 inmates locked up. They got some guys been in ad seg over 30 years. Texas, they will save you one stabbing and you history in the state of Texas. They don't give you multiple chances. And all ad seg terms are indefinite. You don't have a term limit. You can go in there for possession of a weapon and end up being in there 15 years. Depends on how you adjust to seg life. So this is not a nice place to get incarcerated.
I mean, were you held accountable for those murders in prison? Did they try giving you street charges or anything along those lines?
In 78, Texas prison was wide open. They didn't give a shit about no murder. I typed my own disciplinary case. I typed it myself.
Oh, shit. That's crazy, man. You wrote up your own charges?
I had, well, it started as a fight. You know, Texas, they believed in field work. It was slave labor.
Yeah.
We was working out in the field, and I had been up all night studying for a final exam for my bachelor's degree. Man, I didn't want to have to take all them courses over. Man, I had a bad day. We was out working in that hot ass sun. We were chopping cotton. And they had just integrated the work squads because Texas was segregated. And they had one Hispanic in one hole. That's a work squad in Texas. And this guy ran his squad. Now they took him out of a Hispanic squad that he run things in and put him in an all black squad where you don't run nothing. And me and him had some words. We started fighting. I won the first fight. So he made a statement. I bet you I kill your ass before the day is over with.
Shit.
All inmates work with a weapon. We work with tools.
Yeah.
So I just started chopping his ass up with a grubbing hoe. I killed him. And
right there after he said that, or?
Right after he said it. You Texas, you got to move fast. You can't wait on nobody around here. You get your ass killed. You got to take it. You take it to his ass. Don't worry about consequences. If he not worried about consequences, I'm not worried about consequences. And everybody knew that at the Ramsey unit, they didn't give a shit about no fighting or no inmate getting killed. That is no big deal to them. It happens all the time. And I got in that night. I was in my cell studying one of my college books, and an inmate guard came up to my cell and said, "Hey, the major wants you. Go to the major's office." So I got to the major's office. He said, "Get over on that typewriter and type up some shit." He said, "You know that boy died." He said, "You file all them damn bogus ass lawsuits telling all them damn lies on us all the time. Get over there and type some shit up that can help you." So me and another inmate got at the typewriter. I typed it up. I went to solitary confinement. I lost 1 year's good time, 30 days cell restriction. That was the end of that. 9-1 in 1984, the rules had changed. That's when Texas prison started all the games. Texas prison system did not have games. It was every man for itself, head up phase. And this guy had pulled a knife on me. I worked in the night laundry. He caught me in the shower. He walked in the shower with a fucking sword and a towel. He walked up to me and he said, Hey, nigger, I want to tell you one thing. He said, I stabbed up a nigger on Darrington Unit. And I ain't afraid of you like the other guys. He said, I'll kill your ass. And I was up for my first parole in 1984. I should have had been up in 1981, but I was stayed in so much trouble, losing all the good time. So I was 3 years coming up late for my parole. And that happened on a Wednesday. That Friday, they called me to the parole office and gave me my denial. And that Friday night, I killed his ass. They had just started Ad Seg. So they placed me in Ad Seg, and they indicted me. Now, I went to court. I had white, black, Hispanic, and a prison guard testifying on my behalf in front of an all-white jury. I was found not guilty. But they still kept me in administrative segregation for 9 fucking years, they said, because of my disciplinary history. So I still stayed in there 9 years regardless. They would not release me.
They need to make a movie on you, man.
A lot of subscribers be telling me that. I put the movie Life to shame.
I was about to say, man, it sounds so much like Life. You know, Life is a comedy, but there are, I tell people, you know, these prison movies, a lot of it, some of it is very true, man. And that's just unbelievable. You know, like in Life, they had the guys, the inmates, they were, like you said, they had the guns, they would do the count, they had the whistles and stuff like that, and they would watch. That's crazy, man. And I want to talk a little bit more about this whole labor force that they had back then. I mean, I know Cotton, man. Cotton will tear your ass up. You know what I mean?
Texas prison, they weighed the cotton. If you did not have your weight, you was not going to eat the last meal.
What do you mean? Oh, they weighed it. How many pounds do you think? Can you remember?
This is what they would do. The first 3 days of cotton season, they wouldn't say anything. They just let guys, because some guys never picked cotton before. They let you get used to it. That 4th day, they would come out, start screaming and hollering. Plus back then, they carried whips. Man, they will whoop the shit out of you out in them fields.
Was there white guys out there in those cotton fields too?
Hispanic, white, black. They didn't give a shit about no race. They called everybody niggers. Mexican niggas, white niggas. They didn't give a shit about your race. Your ethnic background didn't mean nothing.
This is unbelievable, man.
They would shoot a white guy just as fast as they will a black. It didn't make no difference. And they would drive everybody. Tell you, hey, the ones don't have their weight today, you're not going to eat. And they would drive us real hard. Then they would average up the weight and divide it by how many in the squad. You got to get that weight every day. Every day. If you don't have it, you will not eat. They will place you in the jailhouse with them dirty clothes on. Matter of fact, you're not even going to shower. The next morning, they're going to feed you breakfast, and they're going to start the process all over again. Or they had another little trick. They would stand you on soda water crates, wooden soda water crates. You get 4 hours. Every hour on, they give you 15 minutes off. If you fall off that crate, your time starts all back over again. They had another trick to hang you by handcuffs. They had a steel bar. They would stretch you far as you can go and handcuff you. You stay in that position for 4 hours. If you're not a physically strong person, man, your shoulders are almost going to be dislocated. And on top of that, you was going to get an ass whooping. Everything in Texas involved brutality. Every disciplinary case you got, they whoop your ass. In a solitary confinement, they feed you 3 vegetables, a teaspoon of pinto bean, teaspoon of carrot, teaspoon of beets or sauerkraut. It's going to be a vegetable for 15 days. Man, I've seen guys go from 225 down to 110. They would see how tough you really was. So if you was tough, it was going. They were going to be able. In Texas, they judge you on by what punishment you can take. If you couldn't handle that tough punishment, man, they brutalized you. They would see real fast who the tough guys were. And I went to that solitary confinement over 40 times, not for work, because my first 4 years in prison, which I was at the Eastham unit, which Newsweek magazine billed as the toughest prison in the United States, had the worst inmate guards.
And what was the name of this again?
Eastham Unit. Eastham.
Eastham Unit. Okay. And this was supposed to be the most dangerous back then?
The most brutal Billingtons, inmate guards. They went by interchangeable names. Billington, turnkeys, camp boys. Depends on what prison you had, depends on what name they had. But they all beat the hell out of you. They run things. And my first 4 months there, I filed a lawsuit. Don't know what the hell I'm doing. So that's what transferred me from that prison to the Ramsey unit down in Angleton, Texas.
They threw you in there because you filing all this stuff, huh?
They looking at it. Here's a guy, first offender, never been in prison before, and hell, I'm trying to file something against the system. Yeah. I didn't know what I was doing. I just copied it out of a book called A Jailhouse Lawyer's Manual.
Yeah.
I just copied it just the way it was in the book and put all the facts and time,
Yeah.
It worked. Federal judge gave me a hearing. They immediately transferred me. It was only two things they were scared of: legal action and inmates who they thought was insane. If you didn't fit one of those categories, they'll beat the hell out of you in a heartbeat. And you had to earn your stripes. They was going to test your mettle. They're going to see how tough you really was. And I've seen many men break. I've seen grown men in that solitary confinement cry like a baby. My first time I went, 8 days, I almost died. I ain't never been that hungry in my life. Little did I know, I was going to make the record for solitary confinement. In 1 year at the Ramsey plantation, I went to solitary 9 times in that 1 year. That was a record. Ain't nothing to be bragging on, but I just wasn't going for the bullshit. Once I got used to everything, it didn't even bother me no more. I'd go in there and lose 10, 11 pounds, come out, eat real good, go back out in the fields and work, because everybody had to be in physical shape. You couldn't do that hard-ass slave labor if you wasn't in physical shape. You had to be mentally tough and physically tough. I'd work out in the fields all day, then come in and exercise 10 o'clock at night if I didn't have a college class. So you got to be in shape, plus they fought like hell. You had to be in shape. And I had these gloves with steel in them that an old man built. He made me my first pair. Boy, and I won many fights with those gloves. You fighting with fists, mine got steel in it.
Yeah, of course. I've never seen that. I've never seen like a variety of brass knuckle type things. I've never seen that before. That'd be much nicer. I would rather use that than a shank if you ask me, man. Because I ain't trying to kill a fool all the time.
They wasn't big on stabbing. It was a lot of fights. Now, it was guys getting killed. At Ramsey prison, a lot of guys, they averaged about 4 murders a year for inmate killing another inmate. I'm not talking about the inmate guard. They kill over 25 a year. Man, there's a lot of people disappeared in Texas prison.
Yeah.
They had this thing. They would always find him drowned out in the creek behind the prison. Oh, he tried to escape and he drowned. Or one of the inmate guards, the warden might beat somebody to death. And he had an inmate that'll step up and say, me and that guy had a fight and I killed him during the course of that fight. So, man, they got away with murder, man. You had to walk light, you had to watch who you talk to. You better know that person real well, because if they get word, are you planning some type of gang activity or some type of uprising, you got a major ass whooping coming if you can survive that ass whooping. I've seen them kill so many guys.
It's unreal, man. When were you released? How long have you been out?
I've been out 3 years.
Is it getting a little easier for you?
Financially, I got help from my landlord where I live and my old lady, and I got a subscriber. Man, this guy stepped up, man. He really helps me out. His name is Claude Lee. Man, he's a good guy. He comes over here, asks me, do I need stuff? He always providing financial assistance. I didn't ask him for it. He just contacted me through my channel. He lives about 10 blocks from where I live, and he helps me out.
It's an amazing thing, man. A lot of people don't understand. We see a lot of negativity in the comment section and stuff like that, and a lot of different channels. But there's a lot of good people out there that are helping us, man. You know, and big shout out to that guy. You know, because it takes a big heart to do that, to help someone that they don't even know really. I mean, there's so many questions I could ask you. What do you think would be the major difference from when you first went in to now within the Texas prison system?
But now, well, back in the day, the doctors were inmates. So if you went to sick call and you wasn't really sick, they had inmate guards work inside of that hospital. You was gonna have a major headache when you leave out because they're gonna beat the hell out of you. You're gonna go in there bullshit and come out with knots on your head. They're gonna give you a Tylenol and tell you, take it easy out in that hot sun. Get your ass out of here. We'll see you.
Oh my God.
Blooded in hell. You stepped out of line, they're gonna put you back in line. And it was so bad, they kept an ambulance right at the back gate of the prison because they had to use it all the time. Somebody get hurt all the time. You know, they censored your mail. You couldn't write people on the outside and let them know what was going on. Your incoming and outgoing mail was censored. You put anything in that letter about you being assaulted or anything, that letter never was going to leave the prison. So it was hard. If you didn't get visits where you could talk to your family, you was in worlds of trouble. I had a mother, she was a college professor. She would come look out, and I had a little code I'd write on the back of my letter. She would send the FBI. You know, I'm not saying I survived Texas prison by being tough. I did what I had to do, and when I had to do it. I survived because of my mother. She kept the FBI, U.S. Marshals over there. Now, one warden, his name is Wildcat. His name is James Anderson. We call him Wildcat. He called me in my office and told me, he said, nigga, you wouldn't even be alive if it wouldn't be for your mother. He said, I swear I would kill your black ass. He said, your mother gonna ask too many questions. That's the only reason you alive. So, you know, she helped me through the hard times. They know I had family who was going to investigate, and I got visits all the time unless I was in solitary confinement.
It's crazy. Was there black staff working?
All black prison guards. They were all white. We had one Hispanic prison guard. His name Elizondo. He was from San Antonio, and he went home and somebody killed him in San Antonio. But all the guards were all white. All white guards.
Were would you say the white inmates got treated better in any way, shape, or form?
At Eastham unit, they did. That was the only prison in Texas that's predominant white. They ran that prison. All the inmate guards were basically white. Now, they had black inmate guards because it was segregated.
Yeah.
The unit held 2,200 inmates. Probably approximately 1,400 of them is white. So they ran things. Now, when you got to the Ramsey plantation where I went to college at, it was reverse. It's predominant black. The inmate guards is predominant black.
Yeah. It just varies from and it's like that over here, you know, in my state as well. Even when I was doing the time, it varied. Some places were more dominant than others with races, but all right. How long have you been doing YouTube, man?
Just started about 50 days ago.
What you think about all this?
Well, I got some good subscribers. I get interesting things in the comment section, but majority of my subscribers have been in institutions themselves. So I can easily communicate with these guys. I got a wild ass channel.
Yeah, hey, well, I'm about to be up in that jank now. I'm about to be in there now that I found you, man. And I wish I got the guy's name that sent the link to your channel. Shout out to you, man. I wish I knew your name right off the heart. I would shout it out, but I don't want to hear an extreme amount of your story because I'm gonna go over there and I'm gonna watch some of your videos, man. I've got so many questions I could ask. I want to have you on for multiple parts. Do you think that would be a possibility?
Problem. I got this Zoom figured out now.
There we go, Doc. I love it, man. Hey, look, All right, let me ask you one more question, man. One more question about Texas prison. Something that could benefit my viewers. Because, my channel is, we all know to stay the hell out of prison. Don't commit crimes if you don't want to do the time. Okay, that's the oldest saying known to man for the most part. But my channel is for people that, hey, you know what? They got caught up. They might be on bond, or they're in the streets and they know never leave. They chances are they will go to prison, man, if they get caught up. So what do you think would be the best? I'm looking forward to hearing your input on it. The best piece of information for someone that's going into the Texas prison system. What would that be?
Best thing I can tell you about Texas prison, they don't push a hard gang line. Gang line is not pushed hard. In Texas, confirmed gang members are in administrative segregation. They don't allow you roaming around their rec yards. They don't allow it. And, they got undercover gang members. Now, they got two different type of gangs in Texas. They got a STG and they got a disruptive group, which be Crips, Bloods, Congo Blasts. Those gangs are allowed in general population. But every time they commit a disciplinary act, they immediately lock their ass up. I would tell a person this: do not join a prison gang. Do not go in giving up a lot of information about yourself, because in Texas, they do not check paperwork. No guy will never know what you're incarcerated for unless you tell him. Now, at certain prisons, they got cell phone. A guy can easily Google you, go on the prison website, and come up with your whole criminal history. Now, I would tell a guy, stay busy. They got a multitude of programs. Go to college, take your trade where you can have something to work with when you release. Don't borrow money from inmates. Don't participate in the drug trade. Don't participate in homosexuality. And that'll basically will keep you out of a lot of trouble. You're going to find somebody who like to play scramble, or play handball with, or work out with, or play volleyball with. Somebody you're going to, you'll find a guy that you can associate with. He ain't about the bullshit. He just trying to do his time and keep it moving. I would tell a guy, don't participate in no program that concern the inmates as a whole. Because you finna go down a dark road. You're going to start getting disciplinary, losing custody status, getting visitation taken from you. Just be you. Don't try to make friends with those guys. It'll come to you. Just be yourself. Don't think you bad. Just take care of your business when it's confronted. If the other guy don't care, you don't care. But never go start trouble. It got a lot to do in Texas according to your age, the type of crime you got, and the length of your sentence on what type of prison you'll be housed in. Texas got maximum security prisons that are laid back. I'm talking about laid. You won't believe it's a maximum security prison.
Yeah.
The one that I went home from, it was like that. It's cool as hell. Anybody could make it there, unless you got in illegal activity. That prison was about money. It wasn't about no gang shit. It's all about money there. Now, if you didn't borrow these guys cigarettes and they weed and K2 and all that shit, and you can't pay for it, you wasn't going to have a problem there. You can do your time.
I thoroughly enjoyed this one, man. I think on the next one, I definitely want to dive into your 9 years in SEG, man. I can only imagine that was hell on earth. Hell on earth, man.
SEG is what you make out of it. Me, I got an active mind. So I stayed busy. I took college courses in SEG. And, Texas said you don't have a TV. They took the TVs out. No TV.
9 years, no TV. That's crazy, man. Yeah, we're definitely going to talk about that more on part 2, ladies and gentlemen. All right, Doc, man, please, if you don't mind, tell the people where they can find you. I'm sure they're definitely wondering what your channel name is and all that good stuff.
2 straight years in.
I love it, man. You don't need to say, you didn't need to, you probably knew the name of that as soon as you had to come up with it, huh?
At first, I had started my first, I think about 5 videos I had, Don't Mess with Texas. That was copyright infringement. So I changed my name. It was just a matter of time when I got to rolling good, some some internet fool gonna jump up and say, hey, I've been using Don't Mess with Texas, so I changed it. I bet you ain't got 42 years straight in.
I love it. Oh, Doc, I love you, man. This is a great interview, my friend. 42 years straight, ladies and gentlemen. And I'm going to leave it pinned in the comment section description of the video for you to check out. Great interview, man. It was great. It was a great time talking to you for the first time. Just look, man, I don't want to see you going back. You know, you think you're going to go back?
You know what? Dallas is a violent place. Almost like Chicago with all the violence. And I'm living in a violent neighborhood. This is the largest neighborhood in Dallas is Oak Cliff. And man, I'm like a vampire in reverse. At night, you don't see me. I might win $2 on a lottery ticket, and I drive down to the 7-Eleven real fast, purchase a ticket, and I be flying down Corinth Street. Yeah. I come back, park that car, back in the house, bolt the door. You don't see me no more until the sun rises the next morning. I go out and walk around, drink my cup of coffee.
I know that's right.
I don't do no hanging out. During the day is when I maybe go to Walmart, or I might just cruise through some of the neighborhoods. Never stop, just ride. I might go downtown and park, walk around, get back in the car, drive off. But I don't do no hanging out. And
how was driving for the first time, man? God, see, I'm starting to ask all the questions. I'm trying to wrap it up, but don't answer that one. Don't answer that one. Answer this for me, man, before you leave. One more thing. When I got out of prison, I only did like longest ever, like 3 going on 4. You know what I mean? And it was nothing, you know. But when I got out, one thing that I really loved was walking on carpet, man. I just was like, God, I love this. Taking off my shoes and walking on carpet. What do you think would have been something that just shocked you when you got out, man? It's like, God, this is so crazy. I'm actually doing this. It's normal, but it's crazy I'm doing it, you know?
Walking down the sidewalk, and a city bus passed me doing 50 miles an hour 2 feet away from me. I used to cringe. I said, man, these cars gonna hit me.
Oh.
Man, I got on the city bus, and it got the automatic system. Please be seated. Show your ticket. I was looking around. I said, who the hell is that doing all that talking? Boy, I was nervous.